September regular school board meeting started. This time, I want to ask Ms. Cagle if she would lead us in a moment of silence and the pledge.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this time we need an approval to amend the agenda to include the GIF 2.0 grant approval to participate in policies, and the policy is recommended by the policy committee. Do I have a motion to amend the agenda to add those?
I make a motion.
And it'll be at the end of the new business. I've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 12-9-2, declaration of conflict. For TCA 49-2-202, the Board of Education members who have relatives for statute. Relatives means spouse, parent, parent-in-law, child, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, grandparent, grandchild, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, nephew, niece, or any person who resides in the same household as you, employed by the system, or asked to raise your hand to identify yourself. Do you certify that the votes that you make tonight will be in the best interest of the school system, regardless of the effect that your vote may have upon the employment of your relatives or relatives?
I do.
All right. 12-9-3, recognition of Sequoia High School students have completed the following certificates.
Okay. At this time, I will go ahead and call names, and we will have students come in. This is a list of agri-science students who have successfully passed and certified for OSHA 10 General Industry and Agriculture. Isabella Alta, Bella Bryson, Sarah Charles. I'm going kind of quickly on the ones that are not present if you want it. Connor Cooper, Alexis Crowder, Elijah Harrell, Mackenzie Heaton, Trainer Hull, J.C. Jones, Dustin McMahon, Alea Moore, Serenity Parton, Jackson Kite, Juana Quintana, Austin Roach, Dallas Talent, Skylar Underhill, Adeline Williamson, Caden Craig, Leisha Della Cross, Sophie Fry, Hope Hester, Kendall McAllister, Anna Mills, Brianna Rucker, Mystery Schubert, Veronica Silvers, Jackson Teague, Briley Butler, Megan Parmley, Promise Coleman, Sarah Davis, Megan Lane, John McCauley, Trinity Patterson, Melina Rogers, Jaslyn Rodriguez, Caitlin Torbett, Riley Woodby, Kaylee Panter, Marshall Lane, Isaiah Franks. And that is it for those students. Sure. Dr. Strickland, can they get a picture? I did, Dr. McCall. Oh, yeah, stand there and let me get a picture. Perfect. Thank you very much. students in welding who passed the AWS industry certification. Bryson Ferguson. Bryson Harris. Luke Breeden. Bo Dean. Joseph Jacob. Manuel Lazardi. Trevor Newman. Campbell Silver. Tyler Thomas. Williams. Got it. Thank you so much. Okay, the next we have Betsy Moore, students who passed the OSHA 10 in rehab careers for a healthcare certification. Jose Davila, Chance Bueller, Angelina Irvin, Trinity Ferris, Isabella Forbes, Emily Ford, Skylar Taylor, Anna Lewis, Madison Mullis, Ariana Palmer, Cooper Self, Cameron Stevens, Callie Wall, Morgan Maynard, Ethan Blair, and this will be for Sarah Thomas. The following students in medical therapeutics completed the OSHA 10 for a healthcare certification. Hannon Amos, Paige Anderson, Allison Brackett, Ashley Bradley, Aubrey Breeden, Emma Berger, Tabitha Caswell, Macy Collins, Tanner Easter, Jamie Eddington, Trinity Ferris, McKinley Harris, Abigail Hitson, Shelby Hopper, Elias Jenkins, Vivian LeMay, Brianna McLemore, Ivy Merrill, Grace Patton, Autumn Raper, Carly Rodriguez, Brock Runyon, Augustina Sanchez, Amber Sarton, Ariana Stovall, Jillian Talent, Hunter Taylor, Alexandria Vanskiver, Kylie Webb, and Keely Strickland. Very good. Thank you. Congratulations.
All right. Next, Dr. Winter is going to address the events at Sequoia High School.
Okay, I just want to take a moment to personally thank every single person who was present during Tuesday's event at Sequoia High School. That goes to those on staff who helped maintain order inside and outside the classrooms and the building. the students who maintained a safe and orderly environment and did what they were asked to do when they were asked to do it. We are happy to say that we were able to gain permission for safe re-entry to the building last Friday. We're appreciative of those who came from the district, county, local, and state levels to help make that happen. We were thrilled to welcome our faculty and staff back as well as our students. And in addition to taking the necessary steps to be able to return to our normal schedule, we will continue to work to enforce and refine any and all discipline and safety protocols to ensure and secure a safe and secure learning environment for each of our students every day. So thank you to everyone involved, and I'm happy that we're back in session at Sequoia.
Thank you. 12-9-4, the request to address the board, Ms. Jackie Davis, Sequoia High School parent. All right. Now, according to our policy, you'll have 5 minutes, and our attorney, Mr. McCarty, he's going to keep time for us. In 1 minute, he'll give you a warning that you'll have 1 minute left.
I'll just wave at you. I won't yell or anything.
And thank you for coming.
You can wave.
Am I ready?
Yep.
Alright, well, I'm here as a concerned parent, to address the board, one, the need for textbooks. Most of us parents have been out of school for 15 to 20 years, and without a book, it is sometimes impossible to assist my children with their homework. I was told by a teacher we are trying to prepare them for college. While this is great, not all students are going to college. Some students make other career moves. Why are we putting all students through this? It is my understanding there are dual enrollment classes for these students. So what is the status of books for classes, and why do we not have them currently? It was mentioned to me that they become out of date. Why are they out of date? Because there is a newer edition? When I took microbiology in college, they had gotten new books that semester. I chose an earlier edition as I didn't want to pay the price. And it was basically word for word the same, and I received the same education as everybody else with the newer books. At this point, honestly, I think my children will get a better education using the outdated books that we used when I was in school. When I attended school, if the assignment being taught was not in our books, we were given handouts. Why are we not giving students copies today? I assure you that most of us understand and comprehend reading something in print as opposed to reading it on a computer screen, as well as we remember something that we have written down as opposed to typing it in the computer. Yet we have resulted to Chromebooks. My child is failing a class because he was not allowed to bring his loaner Chromebook home. How are children supposed to complete their work in this case? Not all homes have access to internet or computers. Your policy says if a Chromebook is turned in for repairs, a loaner device may be checked out at the school library for the duration of repair. The duration should include it coming home to complete assignments. It also says the number of loaner devices is limited, so the availability of the loaner device is not guaranteed. I do not know if this has been an issue to date, but if the fact is that the school wants to conduct education with this device, there should always be one available for these students. I helped my child with an assignment last month, an assignment that would have taken 20 to 30 minutes with a book, paper, and pen. It took us almost 2 hours to complete the assignment. If the chapter for the assignment is in Google Classroom, as it was with this one, you are constantly having to go back and forth. Unfortunately, due to my 5-minute time limit, I can't demonstrate that to you. So has the board asked students how they feel about this? Have you asked if it's taking students longer to do assignments? How hard the grades been? And how about your TCAP scores? I would like to see the board make plans to get back to basics of learning for these children and to get school books back in these classes. Second, charging students for fines. It is my understanding this is coming from the sheriff's office, not the school. However, I have seen nothing in the handbook in regards to this. As parents, we should be made aware that this is a possibility. Most of us teach our children to stand up for themselves. Most children will turn 18 prior to graduating. Now we are talking about a permanent record as opposed to a juvenile record. Until my child was recently in about his first fight in high school, I had no idea until I was told he would be charged. Someone said to me, maybe parents should assume that this is a possibility. Why would I assume this? Students were not charged when we went to school. The handbook needs to be updated if in fact this is how the school board and sheriff's office have decided to do things. The drugs and overdoses. What are the board's plans for this? Why have parents not been made aware? Parents should have been notified of the issue from the start. Decisions were made during the recent event at Sequoia, and lack of communication to parents left many of us parents very frustrated. Thankfully, all our children came home safe. Why the hush-hush on this? These are our children. Why the lies? I say lies as a statement was made to the news that parents were allowed to pick up students at any point during this event. I went to the school myself and was absolutely denied my child. Drugs are going to be an issue anywhere, I understand this, but as a parent, notification of a big issue such as this is absolutely necessary so us parents can talk to our children and help protect them. Teaching and protecting our children starts at home, but we need to be made aware of the issue. Most households don't have a drug conversation weekly. I am not standing here today to place blame. Kids are going to make bad decisions, and you are likely not going to catch every drug that walks in that school. I do not know the answer for the issue, but I would like to see, as most parents here, your plan on the issue, your plan to keep us informed. Due to lack of communication from the school, parents are left with stories from others, social media, and maybe our children. True or not, that is all we are given. Parents should be notified so we are able to make decisions for our children. Facebook, as I have seen some statements as recent as today, is not your best method of communication with us. Not all parents have Facebook, and most of us parents work and don't always have access to Facebook. A recorded call or text message would be much better for notification to most of us and the listed emergency contact.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Now, do we not address it? I mean, I've heard this bull about textbooks for 20 years. We have textbooks, right? All our students should have a textbook.
Certain courses have textbooks. We have some that have actual hard textbooks. We have some that have digital subscriptions. Some have both. It depends on what the course is and what the grade level is.
Well, that's the reason on that.
Right. 12-9-5, approval of the consent and regular agenda.
So,
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. 12-9-6, approval of the minutes of the November 11th, 2021 regular board meeting. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we approve.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 12-9-7, approval of the December 2021 budget amendments. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. New business, 12-9-8. Discussion to change the regular meeting time from 6:30 to 6.
Mr. Chairman, this puts a hardship on, which when I took this, you know, I knew the meeting was 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got other, you know, if we're gonna have business people, parents attend these meetings, you can't get here that quick. I mean, most of these people work till 5 or 6. 6:30 early enough. I would prefer 7, but I mean, I think it needs to stay at least 6:30 if we don't move it to 7. I mean, I've set my schedule, which when somebody runs for something or you're appointed something, you know what you can do and what you can't.
Mr. Chairman, I see the other issue is we have policy meetings, we have other meetings ahead of time, so that's going to move them back 30 more minutes, right? Move it up whichever way it is. I think that'd be more difficult for what you're talking about, people working even on the board. And policy meetings are open to anybody to come.
Anyone else? We have a motion of any kind.
Make a motion, we leave it at 6:30.
got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passes. All right. The amended, they give 2.0 grant approval to participate. Please speak a little bit. Okay, Dr. Weaver.
Thank you. We're really excited with our partnership with Monroe County Schools and writing the GIVE grant, which is the Governor's Investment in Vocational Education. With the grant, we were awarded it. It's over $941,000. With the grant, we're going to be doing the MEP program, which is your mechanical, electrical, and plumbing program, CT program, with an emphasis in HVAC and refrigeration. In the grant, we've written in some renovations and some transformation of the site at Sequoia to and buy equipment for the program. And then we're also buying equipment to house it at our Monroe County Center in Monroe. We found in the past with LEAF grants and other grants we've gotten that Sequoia kids and Tobin kids can come to that Monroe County Center and take the classes there and do dual enrollment in mechatronics and now the HVAC. And then Sweetwater students had an issue getting their schedule, et cetera. In this grant, we're going to pay for transportation if needed for the schools to come from Sequoia students. And so we're really excited about it. The partnership will be awesome. We partnered with Train and Harris Refrigeration and HVAC, and so we've also written in some work-based learning components for the students that go through the training. They'll get NC3 certification, which Train has told us they're very excited about because with those 4 certifications that they'll be able to obtain while in school, said they would hire them immediately as soon as they finish school. So our anticipation is that as with our mechatronics grant training, that our students will leave your school, high school, with a certificate from Cleveland State Community College in HVAC and refrigeration at the same time they're graduating from high school. So we've had great success in the past with our mechatronics where we had students actually graduate from Cleveland State while they graduated from high school and then came on and finished their degree. So, and then are now working in companies throughout the area. So we're really, really excited with the HVAC. And again, another program that's going to provide skill set for students that is in high demand out there, very, very high demand. I was talking to a gentleman the other day and he said, even in the refrigeration side, they work with major companies like Cracker Barrel, Longhorns, et cetera, that students can make up to $90,000 a year once they're out there in the field. So we're truly, truly excited about this. So we're asking for permission to move forward with the grant.
Sir, we grant approval of this request and also express our appreciation to Train for partnering with us.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
This is one of the best things we've done since I've been on the board. You're right. These ladies that's doing this is what we need to be doing. I mean, all this other bull, nothing.
If I may, I have to commend Dr. Evans and Sherry McConkey for all their hard work in writing the grant with us.
When I got on, when I brought it up about vocation and all, she come to me and you explained to me what you were working on and what you were going to do. And I commend her. I mean, both of them, the whole system. I mean, because I've got a friend that he says the same thing. You get them that certificate, they put them to work tomorrow. So you're
We're
doing
hoping
good.
they'll get that experience while at the school in the work-based learning component. So there's going to be a lot of episodes with the system as well for these students. And I commend Mr. Harris on the welding. That AWS certification is huge, huge. I'm out in industry all the time, and I've got 4 companies. I can place 100 students with that certification. And we're talking anywhere from $18 to $21 an hour.
And see, it goes back to what Miss Davis said. All these kids are not going to go to college. I mean, some of the boys that helps me and girls too, they're not interested in nothing but welding, nursing, or working and making money. Greed.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Under new business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. which we've scooted through, I know the deal on Sequoia and everything. But we've had some schools that are canceling ball games. We've done all the recommended stuff to clean the school at Sequoia and everything, right? We've done everything that ought to be, so there's no problem there. And the public needs to be made aware, probably 30 or 40-minute discussion on things that we can't talk in public that you've got in place at Sequoia. I mean, don't think when we leave here that we're not concerned or we're not doing nothing. And that's what people will think if we don't just sit here and argue about it for an hour.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, there are countless details that have been involved in prior to last Tuesday, throughout last Tuesday, and up until we're here today and tonight. And it involves countless people in this room, outside this room, in the school, outside the school, people who have attended tonight to show their support, parents who have called, the feedback we've gotten. We are never one to say that we are perfect or have done everything perfectly well, but we can promise you that the goal is always to have a safe, secure environment for our students. And if there is something that we can do to better that, that's what we're going to do. We've put some things in place. Additionally, we're enforcing things that were already in place, things that may have been in place that were not enforced as regularly as they should be. We're making certain that that's the case too. And we have tons of people on board with that support. It is definitely a united effort on the school front and the school system front, and our local agencies that have partnered with us. And we just encourage and appreciate all the support that we can get from the community, the parents, the community. These are all of our students. They're all our kids. It's not students when it comes to it, it's our kids. Every one of them that I talk to every day when I'm out there, I've been out there the last several days, that's what we're in this for. It's for those students, the faces that we see every day, coming in and coming out. Regardless of what we've gone through, regardless of what we learned from that, the bottom line is we're here because of our kids. And that's our number one priority, and it will continue to be.
And I feel like, by what I've heard tonight, that this board's 100% behind the director, her decision. May not agree on all of them, but we're 100% the way I am. But, going back to that vocational deal, we don't need to let all this junk overshadow. That's a major, major deal, that vocational grant out there.
Well, that's the thing. There are tons of things going on in the district that are positive. And that includes Sequoia High School, every other school that we have. All of our high schools, our elementaries, our primaries, those things are still going on in spite of mistakes we made and in spite of things that, hands that we are dealt that we have to deal with that are less than ideal by all means. But there are tons of good things going on in our schools and tons of students that are out there that will tell you that if you ask them. I see lots of smiles and happy faces coming in the mornings, and they're still that way going out in the afternoon. So there are a lot of things that are going on right, and there are a lot of things that have been improved and will continue to be improved. We're always looking to improve.
But what are we improving? My kid is scared to death to go to school. I can't protect them there. That's your job. I don't want to do your job, but you work for me. You are all elected officials. What are you doing to protect my child?
If we're going to do this correctly, we got to recognize people properly instead of speaking up from the audience.
My apologies.
Mr. Chairman, if we're going to change the rules and regulations here.
I would agree with that, obviously. I think the gentleman just apologized. He understands. We respect your rights, sir. But I would say that if we're going to move forward, there would need to be recognition by the board to recognize speakers. Otherwise, things could turn into a not ideal situation.
Understood.
Yeah, I know you do. Thank you, sir.
So how do you get recognized?
Yeah, how do we do this?
We do have a policy that, 10 days prior to board meeting, you have to turn in what your concerns are to central office and, get on the agenda.
And just to be clear, that's what Ms. Davis did.
Mm-hmm.
She submitted that. She was recognized. Anybody that follows the policy can have the same right. Absolutely.
One question about that. What if an event happens within that 10 days and you don't have time to get on the agenda?
I guess my
Such
first,
as
You want
the
me
events
to
of
address
life.
it? He's looking. You've got to have the 10 days for everybody to get their facts straight, for everybody to cool down, instead of something happening today at school. Because we had this in the policy meeting. If something happens at Telco or Sweetwater or Sequoia today, and they want to come in here tonight, it's not fair to the board or the rep, we don't have all the details. So the 10 days gives everybody a cooling off. And any problem that comes up, I'm sure that the director has got it under control.
There are steps, if you look at that, there are steps on there that are provided that you go through before getting on the agenda, and you can start those steps at any time. So when you look at that, it explains it, if it's an issue to do with this, it advises you who to speak with. And if that doesn't work, then it advises the next person. So there's a process for that you can start at any time.
I went through the steps and got on the agenda, but we didn't discuss anything. Are you guys gonna discuss at a later point my concern?
that's a board decision. If there's anything that they feel like we need to discuss, we have to put on the agenda at the next meeting.
And would I be notified that it will be on the agenda, or how?
Yeah, I mean, the agenda is public notice. It's posted a week before the meeting on the web page, on the school web page. Yeah, the agenda is posted 7 days prior to the meeting.
The county web page.
Yeah, the county web page. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. The approval of the following policies is recommended by the policy committee. That's 6.306, interference and disruption of school activities, and 6.4081, safe relocation of students. Ms. Cagle, do you want to kind of discuss what in the policy meetings?
Yes, this was recommended by TSBA, and our attorney too went over it during the policy committee and added, you can see in your packet where he added a extra page to form. And I just make a recommendation, we approve these policies that are recommended to us.
TSBA recommendations.
Second motion.
All right. Who made the motion?
I did.
You did, okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Old business 12-9-9, Director of Schools report.
Under new business, to be fair, whether we want to do it or not, I would like to make a motion or a request, add to the agenda next month. That gives us 30 days to answer some of her concerns publicly, especially about the textbook concerns and, the bites, to address that, to be fair to her. Can we add that to the agenda and then
Do it next meeting.
But does that have to be a motion?
I don't think it has to.
What's your question?
To make them.
No,
I
either
didn't
the
think
chairman
so.
can just,
Yeah.
you don't, I was gonna say, the chairman can just add that to the agenda. You can make a motion if you want, but the chairman has the power to set the agenda. So if you want to add it, you can add it.
I really feel that we don't.
I understand. I was just making sure the procedure, right?
Okay.
I agreed with it on 1 or 2, and I didn't on 1 or 2, so.
That's for the January meeting, correct?
Maybe notify her somewhere or another, I don't know. Somebody probably knows it.
Okay. All right. Dr. Windsor, Director of Schools report.
Okay, Tennessee Foundational Skills Teacher Manuals began arriving yesterday. Dixon's Printing is working hard to get those completed, and then they'll be sorted and distributed to the pre-K through 3 teachers, ELA teachers next week. So I know they'll be excited to have those in their hands. We're also in the process of wrapping up the first semester, so high school semester exams will begin next week. Our attendance rate has remained in the 95 to 99% range, which is good. Although it is a time of year when illness can impact attendance, we are not seeing a high absenteeism rate at this time. So we are thrilled to report that after some of the absentees that we've dealt with over the last 18 months. We've also completed our first round of literacy walks in the schools, and we're seeing many positive things taking place in our classrooms across the district in all grade levels and in all of our schools. And that's all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. 12-9-10, the policy committee meeting. The next meeting is January 13th, and we'll do the policy committee meeting at 5:30. Looks like we've got about 10 more policies that we need to review. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Thank you.
Good, good.